Well. This is Sense Talking with a devastating explainer. Welcome. All right, let's cut through all the noise, the economic jargon, the endless press conferences. In this explainer, we're going to get to a very simple and frankly alarming truth about the country's finances. So let's dive right in. And look, I don't mean strained. I don't mean temporarily constrained. I mean flat out stone cold broke. You're not going to hear this said out loud in any official circles, but it's the fundamental reality. You have to grasp this before anything else starts to make sense.
So, how did we even get here? To understand that, we've got to rewind a bit. Back to a really big promise. Remember the Eurobond? Yeah, the idea behind that huge external loan was, on paper anyway, pretty smart. The thinking was supposed to be simple, right? The government borrows money from outside the country, so it stops fighting with its own citizens for local loans. This was meant to free up cash here at home, so it could flow to you, to businesses, and for a little while, under President Kibaki, it actually kind of worked. But that promise, it was shattered. The Eurobond was a mess. And now, fast forward to today, the government is right back where it started, borrowing like crazy from local banks. And the difference is just night and day. Back in the Kibaki era, banks were literally chasing people down to give them loans. Money was moving. But today, just ask yourself, have you tried to get a loan recently? You get rejected, you get delayed, or you get hit with these insane interest rates. The whole system has been turned completely upside down. So, why? Why is this happening? Why have you, the citizen, the entrepreneur, the person trying to build something, become the absolute last person a bank wants to lend money to? The answer is simple, and it's really, really concerning. It's because the banks, they don't see you as their best customer anymore. Not even close. The government is. Think about it. It's a risk-free, guaranteed borrower that will always pay up. And this has created this hidden system, a closed loop that is quietly sucking money out of the public in a continuous, destructive cycle. The source material we're looking at calls this the financial extraction loop. And here's what it is. A closed system where the government borrows your money from banks, and then it uses your taxes to repay those same banks with interest. It sounds crazy, right? So let's break down exactly how it works, step by step. Okay. Step 1. It all starts with your cash, your salary, your savings, your business revenue. It all lands in a commercial bank. Now, this is the key point right here. The banks aren't lending out their money. They're just holding on to your money. Step 2. This is where everything changes. Instead of lending that money out to you or to businesses that needed to grow, the banks take your deposits and they lend them straight to the government by buying up treasury bills and bonds. For a bank, it's the safest bet in the world, no risk. Okay, step 3. Now the government has to pay back all these loans plus interest. So where does it get that money? It gets it from you. It jacks up taxes on your income, on fuel, on every little thing you buy. This is where you feel that squeeze directly from all that government borrowing. And finally, step 4 closes the loop. Your tax money gets collected, and where does it go? Right back to the very same banks to pay off the loans the government took out using your money in the first place. Let that sink in. You are literally paying interest on a loan of your own money. So that's the loop. A perfect closed system for extracting wealth. But don't just take my word for it. The numbers don't lie. They show just how massive this problem has become. So let's just ask the question, just how dependent has our entire financial system become on this one single broke borrower? Just look at this chart. The whole banking sector has about 7.7 trillion shillings in assets. Out of that, it's lent 4.0 trillion to the entire private sector. That's every single citizen and business in Kenya combined. Okay, but it's lending to the government a whopping 6.8 trillion. The source material calls this a hostage situation, and you can see exactly why. This isn't a healthy credit market. The government is the only customer that matters. And it gets worse. On top of all this domestic borrowing, the government still has a mountain of other bills to pay. It's got to service that Eurobond, it's got to pay civil servants, fund infrastructure, you name it. This incredible pressure is pushing the state into a very tight corner. And instead of facing this reality head-on, what does the state do? Well, the source argues it starts creating distractions.
Things like sovereign funds, housing levies. You hear about these all the time. But here's the thing. These are financial tools that rich countries with a surplus use, not broke countries. They just muddy the waters, they blur accountability, and they create these giant pools of money that are almost impossible for the public to track or audit.
So where is all this headed? What's the end game for a country that's trapped in a financial loop like this?
Well, when you boil it all down, it comes to two very simple, very stark choices. Option 1, the government can default. Just admit it can't pay its debts. Or option 2, it can raise your taxes. Again, forcing you, the citizen, to pay for this whole crisis. And I think we all have a pretty good guess which path they're going to choose, don't we? Now, according to the source material we've been looking at, if there's any hope for real reform, the path forward is pretty clear. It calls for arresting the people who stole the Eurobond money, full stop. It says to stop making payments on illegal and illegitimate debts, and to get back to a clear constitutional budget process that we can all understand. Because without those kinds of radical changes, the source material argues that the outcome here is completely unavoidable. A default isn't just a possibility, it's an inevitability. It's coming. And that leaves us with this final, chilling thought. The bill for years and years of mismanagement has finally come due. The question isn't if it will be paid anymore, it's who is going to pay it, and what happens when the country's patience finally runs out.